Hi, Rabbit. We are in the back, in the car tonight.
Awesome. Everything is done. I've got just car with one of the guards.
We will leave all those bags.
At long last, I've been here for a bomb beef.
Me too. You know the clean kill you slowly.
Just hope the new cowboy don't ruin our plan.
Let's pray. I don't want to backpedal again.
Don't worry, dude. The duck already gave me some information.
So, get on with it.
Okay, Nico. We will have to make you an ambulatory lab test so we can alleviate you.
Okay.
You need to take these pills because you have high levels of glucose and lipids in your blood.
But doctor, glucose, lipids, I don't understand.
Slang is defined as a very informal usage in vocabulary. Slang is characteristically more metaphorical, playful, and ephemeral than ordinary language. Slang often reflects attitudes and values of a certain group of people. In order for an expression to become slang, it must be widely accepted by the society or the group of people. Slang has no boundaries or limitations. It can exist in all cultures and society. There is a special slang dictionary that contains words and its meanings. And when a word is created in the slang language and a majority of people start using it, jargon is a highly specialized use of vocabulary. It is used among followers of a particular trade or hobby. Jargon terms are unfamiliar to most people because of its technical terms. These terms can be incomprehensible to people who are not familiar with the topic under discussion. Jargon is used to reflect interest or training in a particular subject, or people use it to see more impressive and more familiar with something.
Jargon. The word comes from the Old French jargon, meaning chatter of birds. In 1782, the philosopher Etienne Bernard de Condillac observed that every science has need a special language because every science has its own ideas. In earlier times, the term jargon would refer to trade languages used by people who spoke different native tongues to communicate. These kind of trade languages are called pidgins. In colonial history of the USA, it was very common to use the pidgin Chinook. Nowadays, jargon is commonly used by people who belong to a certain group, such as doctors and police. Some others use it to leave a sort of impression of intelligence, and others just to confuse the rest of people who don't belong to the same group.
Slang. This word has an uncertain origin. The usual guess is that it came from an Scandinavian source, but by 1756 it was the special vocabulary of thieves. For a time, any word that was unknown or that wasn't used in Britain was considered to be a slang. Originally considered it to be the language of foreigners and criminals. So, now, by the 20th century, slang began to be used by writers. And as another source, we can say that a word that to become a slang was necessary that it may be used in any part of the time. So we can say that much slang dies out, even becoming accepted in the standard lexicon. So, for example, we have the word groovy, which is a word of the 60s and the 70s, and was used. It was a hippie slang. So finally, we can say that in the early 19th century, it was no longer exclusively associated with these reputable people. but continue to be applied to language used below the level of a standard educated speech.
Now I'm going to clarify some examples that we saw in the previous videos. In the first one, about slang, we saw two prisoners that were trying to escape from jail. The first thing that we heard was in the car. That means that you're in on a deal or a plan. The second one was monkey mouth. That means that a prisoner is going on and on about nothing. The third example that we heard was on the bumper. That means that you're trying to get in the car. In the second video about medical jargon, we heard some technical words. For example, ambulatory. That means that you can walk. The second one was glucose. That means that you have blood sugar. And the third one was lipids. That means that you have fat in the blood.